Live from downtown Detroit, Local 4 News at 6 starts now.
A childish prank ends in tragedy in White Lake. A teenager's body is found at the bottom of a pond. Investigators say it started Sunday with a call for an alarm at a tractor supply company, and it tops our news at 6. Glad you're with us. I'm Devin Skillion.
And I'm Pamela Osborne, in tonight for Kimberly Gill. 2 people were seen climbing down the roof and ran away. Police caught one person, but the other, a 16-year-old boy, ran into a wooded area. He was later found in the pond. As our Sean Lay shows us, family members are wondering what went wrong.
We want to show you up close how this likely happened here in White Lake Township. Here's the Tractor Supply. We're in the rear of the building here. Now, police say one of those teens ran from them as they arrived early in the morning on Sunday morning here. The teen ran in this direction, but if you look right here, there's a small pond, a small body of water. The teen likely didn't see that water and went in. This is the handsome face of a vibrant young man, a son and a friend. His name, Joe Padachowski, a junior at Lakeland High School, a member of the varsity football team. His heartbroken father tells us that a childish prank ended in tragedy Sunday. Joe and a friend got on top of the Tractor Supply on M59, triggering an alarm overnight Sunday. An officer arrived, the teens ran. One was detained, and Joe ran off into a marshy area. When Padachowski did not return home later that day, police were called, and that's when the Oakland County Sheriff's Search and Rescue Team started a search.
Our search and rescue team put in the Aqua Eye, which is basically a small side scan sonar device where they can look at objects in the water to see if something bears additional investigation. They saw something that they felt did. They put divers in the water and recovered them.
How did the teens get on top of the business in the first place? We want to show you how someone might be able to get on top of a building like this one. Behind me, you can see that roof is quite a ways up there. We put drone 4 up to give you a bird's eye view. Now, in this fenced-in area, there is a ladder back there on the building. However, it's fenced in. Now, if you go all the way to the back, check this out. There are pallets stacked up along the fence line, kind of acting like stairs. You can get over the fence, get to the ladder, and get on that roof. And that water, that marshy area, was just off the Tractor Supply parking lot.
And it was a shallow body of water, but you can literally drown in inches.
Absolute tragedy. Officially, police in the area say Highland Road and Maple Heights Drive. That's where Joe's body was found, between Highland Road and Maple Heights Drive. Now, here's some of the conversation over email I had with Joe's father, Randy Padachowski, who took the time to let us know a little bit about his son today. He says Joe was a host at a local restaurant for the last 2 years. He had the biggest heart of any kid you'll ever meet. He just got his license back in March. He used to go pick up his friends to drive them places. His loss has left an indescribable hole in our hearts. That's Randy Padachowski taking time to tell us a little bit about Joe Padachowski on the worst possible day of his life. Back to you.
All right, John, certainly thinking of everyone who is grieving that loss tonight. Thank you.
We are getting an update tonight on an effort to reduce gun violence across the city of Detroit. A partnership between city, county, and state leaders helped clear a COVID backlog in the court system. And new numbers this year show an 18% reduction in homicide, 13% decrease in non-fatal shootings. That's about 100 fewer shootings a year. And the number of carjackings is down from 10 a week to 3, which is a 36% decrease. Mayor Duggan says the improvements are meaning justice for all.
All anybody wants is justice. If somebody's innocent, they ought to be acquitted. If it's a first offense or a minor offense, they should be treated fairly. But if they are a violent criminal, the victims have a right to justice as well, and that's starting to happen again.
City of Detroit right now is on track to finish the year with the fewest homicides since 1966. Here at Local 4, we work really hard to highlight and celebrate the good things that people and organizations are doing to make Detroit and Southeast Michigan special.
Go For It is our new statewide effort to make sure we are serving the community with those stories and helping our community thrive. It can be a company, an organization, but tonight it is one single individual.
Exactly. Victor Williams here to tell us how a man and his TikTok account have changed the lives of a single dad struggling to support his grieving family. Victor?
Oh yeah, talk about a sign of compassion that was just really seen by millions. One man stepped up in such a major way for his neighbor and his family that suffered a loss, and it was all because of the power of TikTok and social media.
This is all for you, bro. What? Yeah. I'm like shaking. I'm like so stoked.
My goal was that these kids could have winter boots, coats, and maybe a few toys to play with.
Colin McConnell lives below Donald Wilson, who found out some unfortunate news before the holidays.
One day I noticed that a lot of footsteps were going faster and faster more often, and he said, hey, just so you know, the kids are going to be around full time now. Their mom just passed.
At times I was tired, and I could tell he could see it. And I could see it in his eyes like he really wanted to do something, but it was just like he really didn't have the answer to things.
Wondering what could be done for Donald and his 3 little children, Colin decided to turn to the power of TikTok for help with an Amazon wish list.
The next morning I woke up and there's boxes in front of my house. He was helping move the stuff if I wasn't home, and in my head he had no idea that that was all for him.
And followers did more than just show up for Donald and the kids with all of this, so much more that they could ever ask for.
Thank you so much. God bless everybody, man. Oh my God, I'm kind of like, I'm overwhelmed with like, I don't know what to say. Like, it's just crazy. I'm just so like, man.
I just feel like she here. It's like the spirit's here, you know.
Now these beautiful children, their first Christmas without their mom, they got about thousands and thousands of aunties and uncles from all over the world.
Now that really pulls at your heartstrings. The two are hoping that this can inspire other people to do the same for others that may be close to them or not when there is a time of need. Victor Williams, Local 4.
Absolutely wonderful, Victor. And we want to know if you know someone who is going for it. For Metro Detroit, send us your story ideas. You can enter their name on our website. Click on, or go for it rather, at WDIV.com. All right, for the first time since the UAW strike ended, General Motors CEO is opening up about what it took to bring both sides together, while also breaking down GM's next moves to ensure they remain one of the most successful and competitive automakers in the world. Rod Maloney just walked out of that fireside chat with Mary Barra and has more on her message for Metro Detroit. Rod?
Yeah, Devin, this is the Automotive Press Association. For full disclosure, I'm on the board there, and every year they have this fireside chat. 5 of the last 6 years, Mary Barr has been here, and it is the first time she's addressed the strike in public. And so she did talk about it today, basically saying that it was a tough talk, that it was a different leadership, but she said they did find a rhythm, and they kept on talking until they did get that final deal.
You're always going to have a different tone in negotiations based on the leader who's the president of the UAW. We had a lot of conversations. There's times we had different points of view. We never really, I'd say we always kept talking. We never stopped talking. And that's how we got to resolutions. I think there was a process and a rhythm that we were going to end up following. And I think we did that. And again, we're moving forward now.
Now, she did not directly address the cost, which is roughly over $1 billion that the strike was, and then the added expense to the company that the contract did bring. But she did also, it was a strange juxtaposition, because she talked about how they wanted to reward not only their manufacturing stakeholders, but also the stockholders. And so she talked about settling the strike and also the $10 billion stock buyback back to back. And that was something that Sean Fain was deeply offended by during the strike. But Mary Barra said that their cash flow has been good, and once they got certainty with the strike that she could do both, and therefore she has. And so now they're looking forward to get those Ultium electric vehicles coming out next year. Although she said, and when it comes to EVs, she's in the position where she knows what they have to do, but they may have to change some of their tactics as the focus on the ground and the ability to turn a profit with these vehicles becomes an issue. So for now, reporting live from downtown Detroit, Rod Maloney, back to you.
It's getting more and more complicated on that front. All right, Rod. Relief is coming for commuters on I-96 and I-696. Extra lanes are opening.
And I'm sure a lot of people are happy about that. Christy McDonald talked with Diane Cross from MDOT on the Daily Plus Live about what needs to happen in the next several days.
Working between roughly Lasser out to the 275 interchange. What's going to happen in the next few days, we need some good weather, which means dry, no precipitation, lots of sunshine, in order to put pavement markings on the new part that you can see that is on the original eastbound side. That's what's been rebuilt this past year. Once we can put pavement markings on that so you know where your lane is, you can see during rain and bad weather. Once we have that, we'll be able to shift traffic that's currently sharing the westbound side. We will move the original eastbound back onto the original eastbound side. We're hoping that's going to be in the next week or so. We'll have 2 lanes open in each direction on their original sides. And then in the next week to 10 days, we're going to start moving barrier wall so that we can then open it up to 3 lanes in each direction.
That 3 lanes in each direction will be huge for drivers, and I think that that's what people really want to know, because we know that it's going to be happening in these different phases. Is the project on schedule right now?
We are pretty much on schedule. This is a 3-year project, so you build the schedule with a little extra time because weather could be an issue. We've had some utility issues because very often when you're working on a roadway, you need utility companies to move either water lines or gas lines or cable lines.
Let's talk a little bit about I-96 and the flex lanes and what the latest update is there.
I-96 westbound, we've been rebuilding from 275 out to Kent Lake. Right now, westbound has 3 lanes open, and we hope by the weekend that we're going to be back to 3 lanes on eastbound as well. Again, we're just waiting for a nice dry day. Maybe tomorrow, hopefully, fingers crossed, that we can get out there and do pavement markings on that. And then once those markings are down, we've opened back up to 3 lanes eastbound, including all of the ramps, until we come back in late winter, early spring.
All right, so that's the key, making sure that they can get those paint lines down in the next couple of days, and then you'll get those 3 lanes open on 96 and on 696. Then there is a break for midwinter. Just look for the barrels to come back out in the spring. MDOT knows it has been a brutal construction season, but these are rebuilds that will last for decades to come. For all of the updates on the projects, you know you can check clickondetroit.com. I'm Christy McDonald. Back to you.
If only ordering the forecast was that simple. We know what MDOT wants, something nice and dry. But
which it is at this moment as you look at the beautiful scene there from across the river. But Kim, you caught that part, right, about needing good weather for this to happen?
Listen, I got us through the fireworks. I got us through the parade.
How much can you
I've got
be
the
asked to
pressure
do?
of a white Christmas. I cannot be responsible for road crews. I don't have it in me. I care too much. 38 downtown, 36 at Metro Airport, 34 in Pontiac. Widen the view, and it's chilly across much of the Midwest. 42 in Columbus, low 40s in Indianapolis, 38 at this hour in Chicago. You head over to the East Coast, though, it's 51 in D.C. and 48 in downtown New York City. All right, tomorrow morning, if you live south of I-94, we're talking about the downriver area down to about Monroe. You have a chance for some light snow. The ground is still pretty warm, so most of it will melt, but there could be a light accumulation. And then even north of that up to about I-96, there could be a little more light snow. But the key there is just light. And then as we go through the day and the temp gets above freezing, it will likely mix with a little bit of light rain. But everything should be pretty much light tomorrow. But as you know, even a little bit of light rain on the roads or light snow on the roads can cause some slowdowns if it comes during the morning commute, which is when we do expect it, especially south of Detroit. Temperatures, here's some good news. By the end of the week, our high gets up to 53 degrees, and then we do start to cool down for the beginning of next week. There is some rain ahead for the weekend, and we'll talk about that in a few minutes.